A new report rating each state on its religious and regulatory freedoms has been released, and the findings may surprise you. Created by NAPA Legal, the index measures laws that affect faith-based nonprofits and scores them accordingly. 30 states scored under 50% for religious freedom, with Michigan scoring the lowest and Alabama the highest. For more, we're joined by Frank DeVito. He serves as Senior Counsel and Director of Content at NAPA Legal. Welcome to the show.
Veronica, thank you so much for having me.
So first, what have been the most important improvements to state laws that you have seen since starting the Faith and Freedom Index in 2023?
Yeah, so I think the biggest improvement we've seen is the passage of state religious freedom restoration acts, which I don't want to go into too much detail about what they are, but it's an important protection across the board in states for situations where a law may on its face be neutral and generally applicable. So it's not a direct target to religious exercise, but in practice, it burdens the religious exercise of an individual or an organization. So you can imagine some scenarios we'll probably get into, especially with supposed non-discrimination laws where the law doesn't appear to target religion, but it severely impacts the ability to exercise religion. So the State Religious Freedom Restoration Act is a law that gives a really important protection if those free exercise rights are in danger. And since we've started the index, there are at least 5 states that have passed Religious Freedom Restoration Acts, West Virginia in 2023, Iowa and Utah last year, and then Georgia and Wyoming have added Religious Freedom Restoration Acts this year in 2025. So that's one of the most heartening improvements that we've seen.
What areas of state law are most concerning moving forward, and will there be problems if laws are not improved?
Yeah, there are many ways I could answer this, but I think the one that comes to mind most is the non-discrimination laws at the state level. And I think in particular, I would want to focus on employment laws. Right? Many states, I'd say most states, have some kind of non-discrimination law that prohibits, understandably, discrimination in hiring or firing or any kind of employment practices on the basis of race and sex and so on. Many states have expanded those non-discrimination laws to include not only sex, but sexual orientation, gender identity, religion, and so on. So many states have exemptions stating that at least some of these restrictions don't apply to religious organizations for obvious reasons, right? If you're a Catholic school, you should have the right to make supposedly discriminatory decisions on the basis of the belief, the religion, things like sexual orientation and gender identity. If there are not proper exemptions for religious organizations, the organization really loses its ability to hire in accordance with its religious principles, right? If you're subject to these rigorous non-discrimination laws, you really can't hire a workforce that's united in its faith commitment. You can't even hire people who are practicing the Christian faith or the Catholic faith if you're subject to these.
Frank DeVito, thank you so much for all of that information.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.